That's when he takes like the sample out of her too, right?
Yeah, yeah. At first, I thought it was some kind of probe gun, but no, it's like he checks his iPad real quick to see like where you get like the best sample, I guess it is, and then they cut to and it's super disturbing, but like the meat like cooking, and then the tasters, the specific tasters that he actually disparages while in that scene where he's like, no, I won't get to try it, because we have tasters for that, and they're a bunch of fucking low life degenerates. And then you see it's like some dude, and then some kid, and then a woman. And then they just taste their little samples, and they're like, oh my god, fuck yeah. Or like,
I don't know if you got this from his character, but I don't know if I don't remember if them saying it, but as much as I hated him, I felt like a little sorry for him because it felt like he was put in that position, like it was just a check, and maybe he was a good like zoologist to begin with, and the company kind of got to him,
yeah.
and like
Yeah.
he was famous, and they just used his face, and that's what made him go off the rails a little bit.
True. I mean, he does seem like he's not in his right mind, pretty much.
Hmm.
The entire thing. He seems like he struggles with alcoholism and did what he had to do to try to maintain a relevance.
Hmm.
So yeah, I totally get your perspective on that. That he was just like another victim of this corporate kind of money machine, and that's why he's struggling, and he kind of tries to like talk himself out of things in a lot of ways, where he's like, even at the end when during the parade, when he sees like that they've released, the activist group has like released like the leaked the footage of him like forcing the pigs to mate, and all the things he's saying. They're playing that video live during the parade, and then he gets on the mic. Johnny gets on the mic and he's like, oh, I'm going to do whatever it is in my power to be better than this behavior than you're seeing. And then he just gets clocked with a bottle or something and passes out. But yeah, I think he's just like, I don't know, struggling with, I don't know, depression and pride disease, something. I did have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
So, first one is, how did this movie make you feel the first time you watched it? I know I kind of asked you that opening the show, but I'll ask
I
you.
mean, like just with like in general, like do you mean by like meat and stuff? Is that
N-
what you're getting at?
no,
No.
not necessarily. If you want to take it that route, you can. But I just mean in general, as as a film, did it move you? Did it make you, uh, you know, reconsider eating meat at all?
I mean, dude, I think like I said earlier, like his movies always kind of get you thinking about like everything, you know, the world we live in society. So when I first saw it, yeah, like it kind of hit me, and you kind of have to like maybe step back and kind of made myself think a little bit, especially about that industry. But it made me feel all the feelings. um, and I think that's what it tended. His movies and this movie especially it intends to do, right? It wants you to feel, and yeah, dude, I definitely.
I do think it's funny that when this came out, a lot of people refused to watch it because they thought that it was pushing vegetarianism or veganism on people. But if you actually watch the film, it doesn't in my opinion, at least, it doesn't really feel like it's pushing any narrative on you, you know?
Yeah, no, it's not, I don't think it's not even like little things like that scene where the one dude is like desperately fucking hungry and thirsty, and he's trying to like not trying to eat or drink anything that's been like manufactured or anything. The guy even offers him a tomato, and like he doesn't want to eat the tomato because it had been like sprayed with whatever tomato is sprayed. So I think even that is kind of like maybe kind of poking fun at you know stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and there's small details where even Mija is like when we first meet her, she's like very clearly like at least a pescatarian, where she gets a fish to eat from their like the little creek or river wherever they're at.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, you know, like everything is put in there is intentional, and just give it a chance if you have a pulse, like I said. Second question: how has this aged for you since the first time you watched it? Is there anything that you feel is dated, or do you think it's still a banger?
Oh no, dude, it's still fucking goated.
Okay.
Nothing has changed. It still hits the same as it did in 2017.
All right. Anything stand out for you as far as characters go?
I mean, like you said, Paul Dano and Jake Gyllenhaal are definitely the two standouts. Fucking Tilda Swinton just knows how to play a fucking asshole. Like, in both characters, too. Like, both characters are kind of fucking just ruthless.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's great because they kind of don't show you her sister through most of the movie until, Swinton's character loses her shit, and then her sister comes in kind of for the rescue, and then it's revealed that it's Swinton playing both her and her twin sister, which is awesome. I feel like she is so good in everything that she does. And her look, it's like, I don't know, dude, it's like super androgynous. Like you don't
Yeah.
really know like how to how do you say, interpret her, but she's awesome, dude.
Speaking of that, I like that little scene where, because I know I just watched it too, but they never say that it's her sister, right? That she's talking to on the phone?
No, I don't believe so.
But I like that scene where she sends her that picture of her, like the portrait. So you're thinking like, the person on the phone is telling her like, oh, I wanted to show you, give you a picture of the best leader this company has ever had, and it's a picture of her, which you think, but then when you find out at the end that the sister it's basically the sister, right? Like,
Yeah, she sent her a picture of the sister to be like, yeah, bitch, like I'm better than you.
But at the time, you don't know.
Yeah, they keep that a secret, so it's like a kind of a mind fuck, which is it's great. I really liked. I really like Steven Yeun in general. I feel like he's great as K in this, even though he seems like he portrayed them. Towards the middle of the film, when they kind of attempt this, their intentions are, the activist group is to basically abduct OKJA and rescue her, but then Mija jumps into the picture and their plans kind of change. But I guess they want OKJA to get to New York so that they can, film. They're secretly going to put a camera on OKJA so that they can film everything that she sees and bring down this corporation, you know. And so they're translating everything in this big rig to Mija, and Kay kind of doesn't tell her the truth of what they're planning on doing. But he doesn't tell anybody that until it's too late later on, you know. And so when Paul Dano's character figures this out, understandably he gets super pissed because he's like, feels like he's, you know, betrayed the group and betrayed Mija, you know, made them look like a bunch of liars, and he beats the shit out of Kay, Stephen Yeun's character, and it feels very brutal. And he's like, yo, you know, you can't be a part of this anymore. You fucked us over. You gotta go. And then Paul Dano is like, but you can leave. You gotta leave the equipment, and we'll return it to you after we're done. So, but anyway, Kay ends up coming back and pretty much saving them in the nick of time and kind of redeeming himself. And he you know, they do this really cool insert shot. That's you know, he's gotten tattooed something big that Dano tells him when he's you know, kicking his ass. He says translations are sacred. You know, that you can't botch those, you can't mess those up, because if we don't have that, then what do we have? So I felt like that was a very profound message in there for the film as a whole. What else do we have? Do you have a favorite moment or scene in this movie?
I have a couple. One of my, like, it's just like super minor and little, but a fucking scene where she shows up to the corporate offices and she's trying to get in, and she like runs full speed at the glass.
Yes.
Doesn't fucking break, and she just pops off, and like a second later, it's just all shattered.
Yeah, it was like there was a delayed reaction, and then the glass just falls.
And then I think my favorite scene or shot is the very last one where they're sitting. Mija and her grandfather is sitting eating lunch or dinner, and you see OKJA in the back, and you see the new little pig that they have sitting at the. You just see kind of like it's behind, sitting by the door, and all everything that she's gone through and OKJA has gone through. Like the kind of the, you know, all the emotions you have watching the film, and that last shot, it's kind of you just feel like the forest in the background and them eating, and then OKJA, it's very like calming, a very calming last scene.
Yes.
Kind of you know, things are okay.
Yeah, like a great resolution, and OKJA and the baby pig that they rescue are able to, you know, live in peace.
Yeah.
But at the same,
those are my two favorites.
Yeah. I have to agree there, man. Going back to the pen real quick, until so I don't lose my train of thought, but there's this very great shot where, you know, she's just made the deal with the company to let OKJA go, and they're walking out, and it's a very somber moment, you know, and Mija looks over at the countless victims that she's powerless to not save, you know, and it's like right there is just, it's like, well, what about all of these other these, you know, faceless animals that are just gonna meet their fate, you know? So OKJA's okay, but what about all of them, you know what I mean? So in the grand scheme of things, if we could all just be admirable like Mija's character, I feel like we could make a bigger difference in the world, or that's what I take away from that.